Hi everyone, John Ricky. Hope you guys are doing good. I want to share with you how I work on my contracts for my company or for other companies. In this case, I'm working on a contract for my client and friend who is expanding his manufacturing of fashion into Japan and Asia. So he does a lot of Hawaiian type of clothing, but he's going to expand and do other type of fashion designs and manufacturing as well. So he also owns retail stores and got me into internet retail back in the early days of online retail when Yahoo stores were big. Now Shopify is big, but back then we did Hawaiian type of products. I did more home style products. But anyways, I'm trying to draft some contracts. So what I have here is a distribution contract that I'm working on for him, and I'll show you how I do it. I do what we call red line in attorney language. Red line meaning you'll see a whole bunch of red amendments on the Japanese agreement that has been translated into English. So take a look at this. Okay, you'll notice behind me the red markings. That's all my amendments. That's all my additions and my deletions. What I do is the reds are amendments and additions. You'll notice if there's a line going through like this, a line going through, that means it's being deleted. When I was a politician, we also do amendments. The lawyers and the politicians work on amending the laws. So it's different in that sense because lawmaking, we use brackets for deletions and underline for additions. But as you can see in contracts, we use a lot of underlines for highlighting key topics. So because we use underline, I don't underline for additions. I just use the red font. And for deletions, we use the cross through instead of the brackets, because sometimes we use brackets also in the contracts. The brackets meaning that box-like parentheses looking thing, not the parentheses with the curve, but the boxy, edgy looking type of brackets. Which well, that's what I call them. I'm not sure what you call them, but it's those lines. To understand contracts, I study other contracts. So in America, in the United States, the SEC files all the public companies, the publicly traded companies have to file their contracts. So I get to read other lawyers' type of writing. And that helps me to better my writing or get me more ideas to add or delete in my contract writing. But also, every deal is different. So what I do is I create my own language for myself or my client that needs additional language in our bargaining and negotiations with the other party. So corporate law is mostly contracts. And what I wish is I didn't get that opportunity to learn how to draft contracts in law school. That's huge, but never learned it in law school. I never had that chance. I had to teach myself to learn it, and I had to learn from reading other contracts. Same thing with screenplays and writing films or TV shows. I learn from reading books, but I also learn from reading other contracts. I mean, other screenplays or watching other movies. Similarly, with law, I'm reading other lawyers write their contracts, and that's how I better myself, and that's how I get to learn other industries, because every industry is different. In this case, I'm working on fashion, so I'm reading other contracts in the fashion industry. So other lawyers are being my mentors. I don't know who these lawyers are, but whoever you guys are drafting contracts, you guys are great because we learn from each other, and eventually other lawyers are reading my contracts and bettering themselves as drafting lawyers or transactional attorneys or corporate attorneys. So we actually learn a lot from each other. In this internet world, so much can be learned from each other. So don't reinvent the wheel. Learn from each other. Read other contracts. Read books on transactions. And that's how we can become better attorneys and entrepreneurs. So I draft my own contracts for the companies I build, but I also draft contracts for clients. That's how I make money, because the startups I'm working on in filmmaking and energy is not making money right now. Once that makes money, eventually I may decide to go more all in into the startups, because until then I need to get some kind of cash flow, which is my corporate law and my estate law, which is wills and trusts. So anyways, I want you guys to have a great day. Keep working hard on your ventures. Always remember that the contracts is where the deal is at. You need to have good contracts. Get a good corporate attorney if you're doing business. Get a good estate lawyer if you're preparing your wills and trusts. Okay, so have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.